Oh, there goes Mr. Humbug. There goes Mr. Grimm. If they gave
Okay. Alright, let's do this.
Hello, citizens of YouTube land.
Hey!
It's President and your VP, and we're back with another installment of the 12 Days of Christmas-a-thon. This time it's
A Muppets Christmas Carol.
Which premiered December the 11th, 1992. It was directed by Brian Henson, and it starred Michael Caine with the Muppets cast. So there's that, guys. And so it was made for around $12 million, and it grossed $27.2 million.
Pretty impressive.
Pretty impressive, and it's also pretty impressive on what they actually managed to accomplish with this movie, and we'll talk about that when we get into it. So,
If we sound weird or some other stuff might be going on, we just got a new microphone, guys. We're still figuring it out.
Yeah, so we'll be testing that part out, so join along with us with it. And a few other side notes that this is the first movie that Jim Henson Productions produced after Jim Henson passed away. So with that being said, guys, let's talk about it. It is, of course, another adaptation of Charles Dickens' classic, The Christmas Carol. And
we swear, this is the last version of the Christmas Carol we're doing for this.
Yeah, I know. It was kind of a weird thing, guys, and you'd probably be like, hey, enough with the Christmas carols already. But, yeah, this is the last version this year anyway, because there's so many more to talk about in the future. So, guys, yeah, this version...
Don't worry about it, Dad. You just keep going.
This version was about how... we're introduced to Charles Dickens, and it's the Muppet version of him, and then the character that kind of drags the whole thing down, in my opinion, Rizzo the Rat.
Yeah, I don't really like Rizzo, guys.
And so we get this beautiful song about how they talk about the introduction of Ebenezer Scrooge. And
it's actually pretty cool.
It's a real banger of a song, actually. And on a side note, Roger Ebert felt that it didn't have enough songs, and well, I kind of disagree with that. I think it had just the right amount, because I don't feel that you need too many Christmas songs and a Christmas Carol to really be telling this story properly. It's all supposed to be about.
We're looking at you, all dogs go to heaven.
It's supposed to be.
We're looking at you.
It's supposed to be about Ebenezer's journey into how to becoming a better person. So with that, and of course, Ebenezer Scrooge is played by the iconic Michael Caine in this movie. And he is just giving a great performance, because he has to be this straight man, the Ebenezer Scrooge, with all of these miniature puppet characters all around him.
Yeah.
And he has to act straight and be the straight man the whole time.
Yeah, and that's one thing I actually praised the movie on, was the fact that, like, Ebenezer Scrooge in the movie is the straight man in the movie. Like how kind of like the guy Marshall from How I Met Your Mother, how he's the straight guy in the Muppets movie. Well, here you have Ebenezer Scrooge.
So, I mean, it's just interesting that we've talked about this in the past, too, and I think we've even talked about... Did we talk about Space Jam?
No.
Okay, well, then that'll be on the bucket list.
That is a crying shame.
Well, that'll be on the bucket list, too, guys, but there have been plenty of other instances of these same type of scenarios with, like Space Jam and Looney Tunes Back in Action, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So it's a familiar storytelling device to have just an actor that bounces off of, well, essentially cartoon characters, even if they're puppets. Because, fun fact, for those of you who don't know, there's an animated series out there on the Muppets called The Muppet Babies. So maybe check that out sometime as well. Yeah. But we're getting a little off topic, so back to the story. Michael Caine, of course, is Ebenezer Scrooge, and Kermit the Frog is going to be your Bob Cratchit in this version.
Yeah.
And so he's got Miss Piggy as his wife, because if you guys know, you know. So I don't even have to explain that, why that's the thing.
Yeah.
And what's really, and don't question this, but his sons are frogs and his daughters are pigs. Don't question it. It just is. So.
Oh. I just got the joke now.
Yeah. So, anyways, guys.
Okay, I just got the joke now. That's pretty funny.
You know, Ebenezer Scrooge, he's got a tightwad as usual, because if you know, you know. I mean, I don't really have to go into great details as to who Ebenezer Scrooge is. And so, I mean, we don't even really have to talk about the plot here, so let's focus on other aspects. Mainly that Michael Caine.
Guys, we've talked about this plot 2 separate times in this series as a whole, so let's just talk about something else.
Let's talk about the direction. You know, it must have been pretty difficult for Mr. Brian Henson to actually accept this, because it wasn't that long since I'm assuming it's his dad.
Brian Henson is, in fact, Jim Henson's son.
Okay, so, you know, it had to have been kind of hard for him to accept this tremendous task from Walt Disney Productions. And so that, you know, I think he did a tremendous job given the circumstances, because it hadn't been that long since his father had passed. And this was probably a bit of a passion project for his father, I'm assuming, that he was trying to get this version
probably
off the
like
ground.
His last movie that he was working on before his passing.
And so I'm just assuming, guys, we're not experts on these things, so don't be like, actually, you're wrong, blah, 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 keyboard warrior, you know, whatever.
Yeah, don't be that way in the comments, all right? Just be nice. We're just assuming.
So, anyways, you know, and also Michael Caine's acting, and I think that the songs are very lively and they're very touching. And the set pieces.
There goes Mr. Humbug. There goes Mr. Scrooge.
Yeah,
sorry.
It's
still catchy. It's still playing in my head, guys. Like that's how awesome the song is.
And
in fact, if we don't get copyright claims by Disney, if we do, it's gonna. If we don't, it'll be here.
Oh, there goes Mr. Humbug. There goes Mr. Grim. If they gave a prize for being mean, the winner would be him. Old Scrooge, he loves his money.
If we do, it'll probably not be here.
Right. But, you know, because Michael Caine, of course, like I said, his acting is tremendous here. And even we got to praise the puppeteers, because obviously it took so much effort to be able to do all of these. Especially, guys, I mean, check out the animation and the animatronics for the Ghost of Christmas Present, because I mean, they really had to do some magic there.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, Jim Henson, you know, they're pioneers when it comes to, you know, the puppets and animatronics, you know, and they deserve all the credit in the world for what the Jim Henson production has done. It's
chock full of, you know, tremendous green screen effects, too, like when they're flying over the city and whatnot. I mean, you can't even hardly, in my opinion, you just kind of get lost in the moment, especially, okay, and it's safe for children, first of all. Like parents, you know, sometimes we say, hey, screen this ahead of time. No, you don't have to worry about this.
I mean...
So, you know, you could sit your children down. You could sit your whole family down. And that's another positive aspect about doing these Christmas movies that we do each year, is that, you know, we review so many of the dark materials. A lot of you guys know this, that we go way dark sometimes. And so it's real nice to have these family cleansing moments with these types of movies. And that's their best purpose, in my opinion, when you sit them down in Christmas time and you're watching all of these specials, especially the ones from years back like we've been doing, and we're bringing the nostalgia of the past to the present.
Yeah, I think the most modern Christmas special that we've done so far is Scooby-Doo Haunted Holiday. If you haven't checked that one out, you should. It's really good.
So, but guys, I guess to wrap it up, we got to give some final ratings here.
Well, real quick. Michael Caine's acting.
Yeah, it's tremendous. You know, as I said,
Like the actual like tears that he's crying and pleading to the ghost of Christmas of yet to come, and it's just really good. Is that Mama?
it is.
It is
I'll
Mama.
ignore it for just a little bit.
We'll ignore it for just right now.
First lady was on the phone or trying to interrupt us here. She can wait.
All
This
right,
is more important.
yeah.
I'm just kidding, guys.
Michael Caine's performance is just really good, especially the fact that like I got actually almost teary-eyed by him pleading to the ghost of Christmas of yet to come.
And while they don't really have that big as much of a story because they're there isn't as many human actors in this film, I also feel that like the actor that plays his nephew in the film is doing a tremendous job of trying to to show Scrooge that, hey, as because we've done it before, but dad or not dad, uncle, I married for love, and the whole thing, and chastised and all of that. But of course, like we keep saying, it's not really about the story itself, because if you've seen it, you've seen it. It's about the fact that they managed to make this into put the Muppets in there, and they don't seem all that out of place.
Yeah, it's like, the mixing A Christmas Carol with the Muppets is going to spell disaster, but it doesn't, and it's really good.
That's probably Mama Bear again. You this time.
Yeah. Mom, be quiet. We're trying to record.
All right, guys.
All right.
This is
Final
probably
rating.
a little important. Final rating. 4 out of 5 out of 5. Let's say
4.5 out of 5.
I give it a 4, but that's because I really didn't like Rizzo. He kind of just threw it all away for me. But as far as I go, as far as my opinion goes, which of course we'll get into that in just a minute, but as far as my opinion goes, if you take Rizzo the rat out of it, it's an instant classic of a Christmas film. As it is, though, it's just a really, really good one. So, with that being said, though, yeah, you have seen A Muppets Christmas Carol, and you believe that it is the worst Michael Caine film of all time, because I had to go here.
Okay.
Then clearly you have never seen Jaws: The Revenge.
He was in that one?
He was.
Oh, I haven't seen that. So.
But to his credit, he basically got $1.5 million to go play in the Bahamas. So good on you, Michael Caine.
Yeah.
But as always, guys, just remember, we're just two idiots with a webcam. Our opinions do not matter, except they actually do, because we have a YouTube show, except they actually don't. So having said all that, guys, stay tuned, where next time it's going to be
Frosty the Snowman.
Frosty the Snowman. And until then, we'll see you then. And then there's only one thing left to say, and that, of course, is peace and love from Denny and Son. Bye.